Kia ora from Aotearoa. It's Poppy here, and I am doing exposure for awareness on child trafficking and satanic ritual abuse, and coming from my own place of experience with my personal story. And as I look into it, I realise that I haven't looked at many other people's personal stories. I've just been starting to now. And I just realised that there's many agendas and there's many different purposes behind the actual act of committing satanic ritual abuse. And I want to just also say that in my first video, I said that there was someone who was helping people, but they were channeling people into their churches, and there has been a misunderstanding, and I know that I've done my own research on that, and I have found out that I wasn't correct on that one. What happened was a very Christian, passionate man was the one that was trying to introduce me to Gloria Master's program, and he was saying I would have to be religious for that, and yeah, so I've reconnected with him, and at the moment it's just an assumption that it's putting people back into churches, and I really apologise for that. We all make mistakes, and I remember at the time when this guy was contacting me, I was quite triggered, and I actually wasn't in a really good place to look at other people's stories at that time, but I'm in a much better place now. But I'd love to hear feedback from anybody too who's doing this course and how they find it, because for me, I want to find ways to support people who need it. And if this is a place of great support, then I would really want to refer people to this place. Looks like it could even be internationally known, because it was actually an international friend that brought my attention to this again. I'm always a person who likes to talk directly with people, but I understand that Gloria Masters is obviously very busy, and that there is a conference in England this weekend run by an amazing woman called Jeanette, who's been doing incredible work of exposing satanic ritual over in England. My friend told me that she got arrested outside the Rothschild estate for sort of pointing out that this was a place that these things happened, which immediately brought my attention up there, because it was the Rothschild estate that my mother grew up on, went to school on, where her mother was a school teacher there, and where I think that my mother, well, I know pretty sure she showed all the signs of it, that she would have also have experienced some kind of satanic ritual abuse herself. These things get really, really, really well suppressed, oppressed. Like, people that have known me when I was younger would actually wonder why does she all of a sudden say this has happened to her. But actually it was actually the main memories that really started to flood in 2017, and that was after I had a jellyfish sting and my whole body swelled up, and I had a massive reaction, a histamine reaction, and everything was swollen, every orifice. And also there was a wild dog there. We were in Malaysia. I was with my ex-partner, and we were in Malaysia, and the people that we were house sitting for had a dog from the wild that trusted them because they had fed it, but when we came to look after it, it was not able to adapt to other human beings and was very dangerous, and it broke off its chain and it started to stalk me, and I guess it just all felt like the dangers of, feeling stalked in the past, and that when you get caught it will be vicious and it could kill you, and these things sort of underlie things at a deep place in the unconscious. So with SRA, you can be really triggered by different events, and it's been taking all of my abilities to learn how not to be reactive, and how to just be observant and how to be with everything. I think I'm getting much more well practiced at that, and trying to stay in integrity to the best of my ability, the way that I can. I do bring up personal experiences because I do feel that there are things that need to be highlighted, that people are better off to avoid. Like, for instance, the cult that I was involved in, I went right against everything I knew. Someone said, no, I've done it and it's all okay, and I just trusted this person. And part of it was that you go to a training that they call the Golden Bell training, and it's very energetic, and you learn energetic practices and things. But at the end of that training, you actually give permission to have the man who started this whole cult and has got very big and very rich, quite internationally, you give him permission to put bright light into a chakra of your choice. And I did this to my great detriment. I went right against my own intuition. Another huge lesson, always following my own intuition, trusting that first. But because all my life I was told no, that's not how it is, it's not like that, because I always saw the world in such a different way from everybody else, and I saw the world quite energetically, and I was constantly told that no, I was seeing everything wrong, I was wrong, to the point that I really believed it and became quite programmed and quite led around by people, by groups, by things, and it's been, like a huge big job, like I'm late 50s now, and I'm only just learning that or reconnecting with that. So in some ways I have this strength, and in these other ways there have been vulnerabilities, and those vulnerabilities is where I've been caught. And so because we do become quite vulnerable, needing help, needing support, needing to find our way out of highly charged abusive situations that hold a lot of power until they're resolved, it can make people quite vulnerable, and we have to actually really be like an adult that's guarding our vulnerable child, actually, and protecting that vulnerable child so that vulnerable child doesn't get into trouble anymore. Obviously, I've had the experiences. Since I've had the experiences, all I can say is that was part of the destiny, that was part of what happened, that was part of the lessons. I'm still alive and finding more and more reason to be alive, coming more and more into my heart every day, dropping the hurts and the pains from the past, the mistrust, and all of that. So my big thing now is trust, and it's trusting in divinity, actually. That is where my trust lies, and that is the safest place to know that I have trust that the divine forces, Papatuanuku and Ranganui, are right here with me, leading, guiding, helping me. The more I stay connected with them, the more I stay in a place of peace, the more I stay in a place of love. And so, yeah, I just wish you well on your journey. I wish well to all those supporting people. I wish well to everything and everyone, really. But I am very, very grateful for those that actually are able to look at this kind of material. They're able to share it. They're able to create public awareness so that these secrets, all this covertness, can no longer hold its power, and our young babies and children are no longer suffering because of the ignorance of humanity and our inability to protect them from ignorance of not actually believing that all these things actually even happen in the first place, or thinking, oh, this is such a dark and horrible thing. And she's, I've been accused of being filled with darkness because I have brought this up and I have wanted to expose it. And I've had quite a few people actually accusing me of being of the dark and having so much darkness, because I have alluded back to the story, and I do that because the story has to stop for everyone actually. And just with my connection with divine time and seeing and knowing the divine time frequencies that are being pulsed, because it is something that I observe and follow and whelm myself in, I know that this is the time now where this is the time for the great healing of humanity. Everybody needs to be healing their sexuality. Actually, it's all been in energy harvesting ploy. There's so many areas in which that sexual energy has been harvested, even by turning people on with pornography. That energy, like, if you think of it too, when you look at mainstream media news, the agenda is to cause division and to cause an emotional reaction, and that emotional reaction actually feeds the energy harvesters. And so we all have to learn how to be non-reactive. I'm pulling myself up on actually being reactive. I want to stay in integrity. I would appreciate your feedback too. Look, if you've been having really good experiences with Gloria Master's program and you recommend it, I'd really like to know, because I need to know where people that maybe are new in their journey and where they need that they might need to have a program. That would be really good for me to know about. I've had to do most of mine solitary on my own, mostly because of not being believed, and now I'm very, very grateful that there is actually more support of the right kind, a collaborative kind of support, where I am not disempowered or they're not putting their authority over me. It's very important for anybody who's been through this kind of thing not to have that authority put over you. Things just end up going wrong very quickly. Well, actually, it didn't go all that quickly for me. It took about 2 years for the whole process to happen for me, where I wasn't actually getting the support and the help that I needed, where I was really trying to trust, and I was really trying to go by what someone else had said, but I got burnt. I got burnt where I didn't trust my own inner knowing first, and that I trusted someone else first. So we've always got to capture that first intuition, that first knowing. Blessings to you. Thank you for sharing and helping and protecting our babies.